from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening, coming to you live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
And I'm Heshainani. Let's have a look at the headlines for tonight.
The President commences his election campaign pledging to safeguard the Thun Sinhala. Sajid promises to end the politics based on corruption and thuggery. Anura says power and fuel bills will be reduced. A vote money meter to inspect election propaganda expenses. Heavy rainfall predicted in many areas. Earth slip warnings have also been issued to those living in low-lying areas. A new political party of Bangladesh protesters.
All of those stories and others in detail, and your top story for tonight is President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that the Pulwan Sri Lanka election campaign is not a platform to divide the nation, but a movement where all Sri Lankans unite to safeguard the country.
Well, he made these remarks during the maiden Pulwan Sri Lanka victory rally held at the Anuradhapura Salgadu Stadium this afternoon. President Ranil Wickremesinghe was given a rousing welcome upon his arrival at the Salgadu grounds in Anuradhapura. Many MPs and ministers, including Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and representatives of alliances and parties, extended their support to the President, and they were also there.
සඳහනවල නියෝජිතයින්ද ජන රැළියට එක් වුණා. අපිට නිවහල් මෙයි මවන සත් උදාරයි.
Member of Parliament Andhra Priyadarshini says that there are 39 candidates in the presidential election today, but when the country faced bankruptcy, no leader stepped forward. Ranil Wickremesinghe is the only experienced candidate in this election. Former Minister P. Harrison said today, the vast turnout at Salgadu grounds in Anuradhapura is a testament to the certainty of President Ranil Wickremesinghe's victory 2 years ago. The people were in a desperate need of essential items such as fertilizer, gas, fuel. Since then, President Wickremesinghe has successfully addressed these needs without any shortages. There is no longer a need to rely on Sajid Premadasa and Ron Visanayaka. Member of Parliament Dr. Rajitha Senaratne says that the nation was suffering and no one was willing to take the responsibility. Yet one man stood alone in Parliament when others said the country couldn't be saved, took the charge and achieved monumental progress. The entire world acknowledges the President's role in rebuilding the country within 2 years. Though some at home chose to slander him, the MP added that they have had enough experiments and now it is now time for more. Among all candidates, Ranil Wickremesinghe is the only one with the experience and proven track record. The entire country is rallying to elect him as President.
ජනාධිපතිවරයා මේ නිර්දන පන්තියේ නායකයාට කියනවා එන්න බාර ගන්න කියලා. ආල් මාක් පිටිය නම් තව පොතක් ලියනවා මේ ගැන. මෙහෙම බාර ගන්නයි කියනකොට එයා කියනවා අපට බාර ගන්න බෑ. කුමාර ගුරුරත්නම් කිව්වේ මොකමද මේ මාත් එක බීසි කළා. සමාජ බලය ගන්නම් රාජ්‍ය බලය බෑ. රාජ්‍ය බලය බෑ. ඒගොල්ලෝ තමයි ගිහිල්ලා ලෝකෙ වටේ ගිහිල්ලා කියන්නේ මේක හදන හැටි.
Minister Pavitra Devi Vanyar just said that they have never before supported an independent candidate, but today they unite behind President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is an independent, transcended party lines, and he is the choice of all who think critically and act wisely. Member of Parliament S.M. Chandrasena says that the turnout at Salgadu grounds today clearly indicates Ranil Wickremesinghe's inevitable victory. He stepped during a critical time and made right decisions to rebuild the country. His voting symbol is the gas cylinder, a symbol that fate itself has bestowed upon him, representing the tangible results he has delivered. Minister Nimal Situpal De Silva said today they have gathered to fulfill a crucial responsibility, not merely to elect an individual as president. They focus on supporting a leader with a comprehensive program for the nation's success. Former Minister Harin Fernando says that 2 years ago, when the country faced shortages of fuel, gas and fertilizer and the economy was in crisis, Sajid Premadasa failed to take action. Today, he is making light of the situation, offering only empty promises, while President Wickremesinghe stepped up to address the nation's challenges. Minister Ali Sabri says that fuel and food shortages led to long queues and a lack of leadership in the country and within the Ministry of Finance as well. Despite the presence of economic experts in the opposition at that time, none stepped forward to address the crisis. A true leader does not make excuses when the people are suffering. President Wickremesinghe stepped to alleviate the hardships faced by the people.
අපි සාකච්ඡා කරලා බලලා මේක ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අරගෙන කරන්න කියලා. පැය 3ක සාකච්ඡාවක් තිබ්බා. ඒ සාකච්ඡාවේ අවසානයේදී මැයි මාසේ 10 වෙනිදා හවස 5යි 6ට අර්ෂද සිල්වා මැතිතුමා ට්විටර් පණිවිඩයක් දානවා. මගේ අම්මෝ අත ගහන්න බැරි මහ විශාල ව්‍යාකූල තත්ත්වයක්. මේකට අත ගන්නට බෑ. අත ගන්න මිනිහට අපි සුබ පතනවා. මෙතනින් අපි පැත්තකට වෙනවයි කියලා බාර ගන්න බෑ කියපු රට තමයි රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා බාරගෙන අද මේ විදියට පරිවර්තනයක් කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියන එක. ඒත් එක තව එකක් කියනවා.
Member of Parliament Ishaq Rahman says that at a crucial time, it was only President Ranil Wickremesinghe who stepped up to save the people from their hardships. Had the president not come forward then, what is happening in Bangladesh today could have happened well in Sri Lanka. Member of Parliament Duminda Disanayake says that on September 22nd, a new era will begin and President Ranil Wickremesinghe's return to presidency. State Minister Shahan Semasinghe says that while other leaders lacked the fortitude to confront these issues, President Wickremesinghe stepped up to provide the leadership needed. The team can only truly claim to be capable of overcoming these challenges and is the one led by Ranil Wickremesinghe. Former Minister Manu Shananakara says that currently 14 MPs from the Samagi Jana Balawege are supporting President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Today all of us are united in supporting the President and more MPs are expected to join us. Therefore, the President's victory is assured. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that Ranil Wickremesinghe is the only leader capable of strengthening the economy and ensuring the stability of the government. As President, he has safeguarded democracy without violence and has made significant strides in bolstering the economy. President Ranil Wickremesinghe did, creating an environment where the people can live in peace. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that today they are all gathered at the meeting not for an election campaign where parties clash, but for a movement dedicated to securing the future of the people. The rain today signifies our unity. This is not a place of division but a gathering where all Sri Lankans unite to save our nation. That is why he is running in the presidential election as an independent candidate without party affiliation under the symbol of the gas cylinder. Those present today are the ones who stepped up to save the country when other leaders absconded. He added that this movement is not about personal ambitions or the future of the ministers, but it is a program for the people of this country. The former Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa resigned, as did the former President. Leader of the opposition fled and Andru Disanayake was nowhere to be found. At that time, the value of the dollar was equivalent to 377 rupees. A gas cylinder was priced at 4,901 rupees. A large gas cylinder at 6,850. A petrol at 470 per litre. Auto diesel 460 rupees per litre. Kerosene at 375 rupees per litre. The minimum bus fare was 40 rupees. Electricity cost 8 rupees for the first 30 units, 20 rupees up to 60 units and 30 rupees thereafter. The people of this country endured great hardship during this period. The President has has questioned where was Sajith Premadasa during that time? Where was Anura Dissanayake? If they were truly aware of the people's suffering, they could have stepped in to take over the government and address these issues. He added that currently the price of a litre gas cylinder is 3,690, a reduction of 1,220 rupees. Auto diesel has been reduced to 317 rupees a litre, and crude oil is now 202 rupees. The minimum bus fare has been set at 28 rupees. Electricity costs are now 6 rupees for the first 30 units. The president added that, however, he is not entirely satisfied. The dollar, which was 377, is now 303 rupees. This is just the beginning, and there's still much more work to be done regarding the claim about fertilizer bundles costing 40,000 rupees. This is inaccurate. At that time, fertilizer was unavailable in the country. The current economic recovery was not achieved by Sajith Premadasa, Anura Dissanayake, Harsha De Silva or Sunil Handunetti. He also said that in 2022 and 2023, they ensured that farmers receive the necessary fertilizer, providing much needed Aswasuma, and the Malvatue Reservoir project will also be completed with the commitment. He added that they understand the hardships faced by the people, and while increasing VAT was a difficult decision, it was necessary to stabilize the economy. They made these choices with the knowledge that they would ultimately benefit the country's financial situation. The president also said they have not overlooked the challenges faced by the government employees. In January 2024, they provided 5,000 rupee allowance, followed by an additional 10,000 rupee in April. Looking ahead 2025, the cost of living allowance will be 25,000 rupees and the public service salaries will see a 24% increase, establishing a minimum wage of 55,000 rupees. He has also pointed out that in the past 2 years, they have provided 25,000 rupees in relief, an amount no other solvent government has matched. Therefore, he challenged Sajith and Anura to explain how they would address these issues. If such a crisis arises, they may again retreat from the challenge. The only team capable of saving the country is here with him today. He further stated that without party affiliation, focused solely on securing the future, they have a clear plan to develop the country.
රට බේර ගන්න පුළුවන් එකම කණ්ඩායම මම එක මෙතන ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් මම මෙතෙන්ට එන්නේ පක්ෂයක් නැතුව ඔබේ අනාගතේ.
And in the meantime, the second public rally of the presidential candidate and Samagijana Balawegaya leader Sajith Premadasa was held in Bandaragama today with the participation of many party representatives. SJB leader and opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said on this occasion that a stop has to be made on the corrupted Thak political culture. Parliamentarian Gayantha Karunatulaka said that they have just begun their campaign. People are rallying around their leader. He also said by now people's support has been entrusted upon their leader Sajith Premadasa. SJB leader Sajith Premadasa said that in the democratic history of 76 years of this country, no opposition had never engaged in development programs. He has pointed out that it was the Samagijana Balawegaya as opposition had unleashed the development programs of Husma and Sakala at a cost of 1,000 million rupees. He added that under the program, funds have been diverted to uplift health and education sectors. He further said that they had not utilized public funds or government allocations for their program. The money came from their trusted philanthropists. Sajith Premadasa also said state revenue alone is unable to develop the country and that their plans are not mere daydreams. He also said that every permit given under the influence of bribes would be abolished under a government of his leadership. He added that similarly, politicians and officials who were engaged in frauds and corruption would have to respond to their acts. He also added that a full stop will have to be placed to the practice of corrupt politics.
ඒ නිසා බලපත්‍ර ගත්ත අය සතුට මුක්ති විඳින්න පුළුවන් තව දින කීපයයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි මේ දේශපාලන
Presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anura Kumar Disanayake, says that fuel and power bills will be reduced under a government of his administration. Well, he was addressing a public rally in Thangal this evening. The Thangal meeting of the series of public rallies organized by the National People's Power was held under the theme Ruhuna Perata Rata Anurata. Party leader and presidential candidate Anura Kumar Disanayake and several other speakers have addressed the meeting. NPP leader and presidential candidate Anura Kumar Disanayake says that the people of this country pay a very high price for fuel. He said that the National People's Power has a plan to reduce oil prices and provide relief to the people. He said all these problems were caused due to a lack of planning and proper work schedules. Certain politicians work according to the benefits they get. NPP leader said that they will change the ruling pattern. Currently, a major issue is the distribution of substandard medicine throughout the country. He said NPP has a plan to provide quality medicine for low costs with the aim of providing relief to the people. The main objective of the NPP is not to earn money or get benefits from politics. Anura Kumar Disanayake says the task bestowed upon them is to serve the countrymen. Presidential candidate further promised to remove taxes on educational material, medicine, food and other essential items. At the same time, he promised to simplify the tax regime. Under the rule of NPP, a new tax collection system will be implemented, the presidential candidate said, and he pledged that fulfilling these promises can be considered as a prime responsibility of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna and the National People's Power.
මේක ගොඩනැගීම ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ සමාජිකයාගේ විතරක් වැඩක් නෙවෙයි. මේ වැඩේ කරන එක අපේ විතරක් වැඩක් නෙවෙයි. අපි ජනතාව ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා කරන්න ඕන. අද ජාතික ජන බලවේගයේ ජයග්‍රහණය වෙනුවෙන් වැඩ කරන හැම දෙනාම සමානයින් ලෙස අපි පිළිගෙන වැඩ කරමු. අපි ඔබට ආරාධනා කරනවා. අපි ඔල්ලින් ලා සිටින මොකද්ද? ලංකාවේ හැම දිස්ත්‍රික්කයකම
Secretary General of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Tilvin Silva, invited people from every district of Sri Lanka to come forward to ensure victory of the NPP. He predicted that the NPP candidate Anura Kumar Disanayake will become the winner of the upcoming presidential election and that forward march started from Hambantota. Parliamentarian Haranya Amirasuriya requested the general public to select NPP leader Anura Kumar Disanayake as the next president in Sri Lanka at the presidential election on the 21st of next month. She said that the NPP is campaigning not to protect a family or a clan, only to represent the common people of this country. She said that the NPP's message was disseminated to all provinces in Sri Lanka.
ගැහැණු අපි එකමිටට සූදානම් කියන එක මම හිතන්නේ මේ වෙනකොට දකුණු පළාතෙන් අපි ඒ වෙනුවෙන් හොඳටම පණිවිඩය යවලා තියෙන්නේ.
ලබන සැප්තැම්බර් මාසයේ 21
NPP presidential candidate Anura Kumar Disanayake has also visited several sacred religious places and received blessings. He also called on the Vice President of the Sri Lanka Amarapura Maha Sangha Sabha, the Venerable Magalle Nagitha Thera, and received blessings.
මතක් කරනවා.
Anura Kumar Disanayake has also visited the Sri Manika Vinayagar Kovil in Bambalapitiya and received blessings of the Hindu clergymen as well.
Meanwhile, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and presidential candidate Namal Rajapaksa has venerated the sacred tooth relic and received blessings in Kandy this morning. They have called on Mahanayaka Thera of the Malwata chapter, Most Venerable Thibbatuwe Sri Sumangala Thera, upon performing religious observances at the Sri Dalada Maligawa. Later on, they have called on Anunayaka Venerable Dibul Kubure Vimaladamba Thera as well. Later on, Mahinda Rajapaksa and Namal Rajapaksa have visited Mahanayaka of the Askiriya chapter, Most Venerable Varkaguda Sri Jnanaratana Thera. They have also arrived at the Rajapornarama Viharya in Gatabe and met Anunayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya Venerable Kapitiaguda Sri Vimala Thera. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa said that he is optimistic of victory, but added that there is a challenge in every election. He added that he is having a salon door through which people could enter or leave. Presidential candidate Namal Rajapaksa said that he is appearing as a youth candidate and his main responsibility is to safeguard the culture of the country. He also said that his political movement has the ability to preserve the country's culture. Some said that they had a deal with Ranil, but now it has proven that there were no such deals.
6 election monitoring organizations were reported to have devised an online app for the first time to monitor the election expenditure of candidates. The unveiling was held at the BMICH in Colombo yesterday. It has been named as a meter to monitor election money. The data will be utilized for the systematic implementation of the Election Expenditure Regularization Act of 2023. Participating in the event, Commissioner General of the Elections Commission Saman Ratnayaka said preliminary measures have been made for the implementation of the Election Expenditures Regularization Act No. 3 of 2023 for the upcoming presidential election. The Commissioner General of Elections Commission says that the permitted sum will be determined by the Elections Commission. A candidate will have to spend through the limits set upon by the Commission. The Commissioner General of the Commission also said that the amount to be granted will be gazetted. All the expenditure on the election will have to be shown within 21 days upon the conclusion of the election. He also said that those who submit wrong income and expenditure statements or those who had exceeded the spending limit would be legally dealt with.
Moving on, the Department of Meteorology forecast heavy rainfall as much as 200 millimeters in certain areas in the island as a result of the disturbances in the lower atmosphere. The rainy weather condition is continuously expected in the southwestern region of the country, and the National Building Research Organization has issued earth slip warnings in certain locations in Galle, Kaluthura and Mathura districts. Our correspondent says heavy rain has also inundated. Vehicle transport has been obstructed in Valikala Pokunuvita Road. Several areas in Palawatta, Vimalgoda and Babaralla on the Mathugama Palawatta Road on the Walalvita Divisional Secretariat Division have also become underwater. Many locations in the Galle town as well were inundated. The national television reporter further says water level in the Kaluganga is rising due to heavy rain being lashed in Ratnapura since last evening. It has also been reported that the rainfall has affected the Perahera festival of the Sabaragamuwa Mahasaman Devalaya. Nellore has recorded that highest rainfall figure of 191.5 millimeters, while Vita in Horana has also recorded the rainfall of more than 150 millimeters. And in the meantime, earth slip warnings has also been issued for Nellore, Alpitia, Nagoda, Yakkalmulla in the Galle district and also for Horana and Mathugama in the Kaluthura district. Such warnings are also valid for Pitavadura in Mathura district.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe venerated the Jai Shri Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura and also received blessings today. Well, he arrived at the historic sacred site this morning. The President called on the first Atamashthanadipati, the Venerable Pallegama Hemaratana Thera, and engaged in a brief discussion. Thereafter, he attended religious observances at the Udamalua. The Mahasangha, led by the Atamashthanadipati, have chanted Pirith and extended blessings to the President. The Venerable Ralapanave Dhammajoti Thera says the President has extended the commendable endeavour for the well-being of the historic Jai Shri Mahabodhi and the Mahavihara premises. The Venerable Thera has made these remarks at an almsgiving of the Mahasangha held with the participation of President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Sannipatha Hall of the Jai Shri Mahabodhi premises.
මන්තයි වාසනා මන්තයි මේ මහා විහාරය අපි සංවර්ධනය කරන ජාත්‍යන්තර බෞද්ධ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයක් පිළිතුරන්න ඕන කියලා ඔබතුමාගේ කතාවල උත්තරම සඳහන් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔබතුමා මහා විහාරයේ අමතක වෙන්නේ යමක් කළා නම් ඒ අපි කියලා සිහිපත් කිරීම අපේ ක්‍රමවේදීත්වය යයිසි මහරහතන් වහන්සේගේ සේවනයට ඒ අභියස සම්මාසයේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන කාර්යය සඳහා ආශිර්වාදයක් ලැබිලා ජයග්‍රහණයකට පත්වීම සඳහා ඔබතුමාට අපි ආශිර්වාද.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe, upon veneration of the sacred Jai Shri Mahabodhi, was engaged in a cordial discussion with the devotees at the premises. Several people's representatives were also present on the occasion.
And in the meantime, a group of members of the Perahera Urumaya has decided to extend support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. They have expressed their decision at a media briefing held in Colombo today. Former Deputy Secretary of the Perahera Urumaya, Upul Konra, said that they represent the nationalist movement of this country for the last 2 decades. However, with the current political development, the members of Perahera Urumaya decided to support President Ranil Wickremesinghe in the upcoming presidential election. He reminded that during the past 2 decades, they believed that Ranil Wickremesinghe was their main opponent. However, the party has changed the stance, he said.
ඉතින් අපි තීරණය කරා අවුරුදු 20කට ටික කාලයක් මේ ජාතිකවාදී දේශපාලනයේ කටයුතු කරපු අපි සදාකාලිකව අපේ විරුද්ධවාදියා හැටියට අපි සලකපු රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාට මෙවර ජනාධිපතිවරණයේදී උදව් කරන්න. එතුමා ක්‍රියාවෙන් ඔප්පු කරලා තියෙනවා රටක් අර්බුදයට වැටුනහම ඒ රට කොහොමද ගොඩ දාන්නේ කියලා.
Well, several candidates have expressed their opinion regarding their stand at the forthcoming presidential election. Presidential candidate Namal Rajapaksa says that the SLPP is able to win any upcoming election. He further says that the politics of today is the politics of the youth. Presidential candidate Dr. Vijaydas Rajapaksa says that there are no engaged people in the election using the money of racketeers. He's also said that they will conduct rallies in 160 electorates. Presidential candidate Janaka Ratnayaka has inquired from where the current candidates have got finances to spend such lavishly for elections. Presidential candidate Dr. K.R. Krishan says that they are able to receive between 1.2 million votes. He said that they have presented 3 main issues and assured that they are willing to work with any candidate.
The third Randoli Perahera of the Kandy Esala festival is parading the streets as we speak. Our correspondent says large crowds have arrived in Kandy to watch the Perahera today as well. The procession is scheduled to return to the Sri Radha Maligava upon travelling on the Dalada Street, Kotukodala Street, Colombo Street, Yatinura Street, Prince Street, Cross Street and the D.S. Senanayaka Street along the King Street. It was Vasana Majestic Tasker of the Ruhunu Katragama Mahadevalaya which has carried the sacred casket of relics of the second Randoli Perahera yesterday. The 2 accompanying elephants of the Majestic Tasker were Mian Raja and Buruma Raja. Group Editorial Director Publishing at India Today, Group Raj Shengappa says that the winner of the presidential election in Sri Lanka will be determined by the swing districts in the country. He made these remarks while delivering a keynote speech on elections and the media at a forum held in Colombo today. The forum was organized by the inaugural Sri Lanka-India Media Friendship Association. The topic for the keynote was Indian Election 2024 and Media. India Today Group Editorial Director Raj Shengappa is a specialist in political analysis, foreign affairs, national security, nuclear weapons and the environment and development. He also has a weekly podcast on YouTube show for India Today, Nothing But the Truth. Delivering the keynote, he shared his views over the recently concluded general elections in India and the upcoming presidential election in Sri Lanka.
There is other dignitaries who are present here.
So we looked at what we call the swing states that will determine the outcome. You study these 3 or 4 areas, you know that there's going to be some surprises. Whatever else the psephologists might say, here you've got many parties fragmenting, splitting. I can't recognize them. Earlier we had a very easy bicameral system. You knew the UNP and the SLFP, and that was it. You reported them. Of course, you had the JVP coming in between, but they were 3%, 4%, so you really never... And I was checking the populations of each of these cities. You all know it pretty well. Colombo is, I think, 2.4 million population. I'm talking the districts. Gampaha is 2.3. Yeah, Kurunegala has 1.7 million. Kandy has 1.4 million. Ratnapura is 1 million, and Gaul is 1 million. So if you add these 7 districts, that's 11 million people by themselves. I would gather that anyone who votes in these districts, and if these are urban districts, then the farm vote may not matter that much. If these are all urbanized and you have so much. So, I mean, you all know that permutation calculation, but it's very important that you actually drill down the populations and see, and that's what we did. We said, okay, which are the big swing states? We'll put our resources there. We'll report it in depth. The TV went in. They looked at all the leaders, looked at the ground level truths, whatever was happening in those states was widely reported. And I think this is a vote, what happened in Bangladesh, what happened here in Sri Lanka, what happened in Pakistan, what happened in Afghanistan, what happened in India, in many respects, it is the youth that are now driving the whole process of change. You cannot ignore this vote, and it is very important to understand what they want. And if you see how the votes have changed, when we did the survey, the single most important factor that was determining the elections was unemployment. The second big factor was price rise, inflation. If you take a look and you combine the two here, I would gather that adds up to cost of living, which I think must be the number one issue that you all will be impacted with in Sri Lanka. And a lot of people have moved out of Sri Lanka, and the impact of that, the vote of that particular thing, the numbers that come out from there, I'm sure they all get home votes. They all would vote at some point. What will be the impact of that has to be seen.
Thank you for wonderful introduction, and this Bollywood villain looking, who can say whether it's right or wrong, so there is no mechanism.
We haven't thought about that. Forget the quota which is at the local,
First time, it was magazine at that time. I come from a very
man made a great contribution.
And for more stories here at home, the Sri Lanka Heritage International Kite Air Show 2024 has commenced near the Gregory Lake in Nuwara today. The exhibition will be conducted tomorrow as well, and it is open to local and foreign tourists, and the official media sponsor is National Television.
Well, a feast in the skies, in the hills. And with that, we take a short break. We'll be back with international stories shortly.
You can make a difference. It is your duty to help eradicate dengue. Clean up your environment at least once a week. A message from the Dengue Control Unit of the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back to the news. We're moving on to news overseas and heading into Bangladesh. Student demonstrators who ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina have rejected calls from Bangladesh's two main political parties, that's for a quick election, and are in fact considering creating their own party to sustain their movement, according to the interviews with the four protest leaders.
Student demonstrators hope to avoid a repeat of the last 15 years in which Hasina ruled the country of some 170 million people with an iron fist. Student leaders have discussed forming a political party to end the duopoly, said Mahfouz Alam, who chairs a committee tasked with liaising between the government and the social groups such as teachers and activists. A decision would be made in about a month, the 26-year-old law student told foreign media, adding that protest leaders wanted to consult widely with citizens before deciding on a platform. Details of the students' plan for their movement's political future have not previously been reported.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
Welcome back, and we are moving into the world of sports. Well, St. Peter's College, Bambalapitiya has been successful in securing the Inter-School League Rugby Championship trophy continuously for the second time by beating the unbeaten Isipathana College 6-3 today. Both the Peterites and Isipathana competed in today's match in Havelock Grounds in Colombo as unbeaten teams. Both teams fought shoulder to shoulder since the beginning of play. At the end of the first half, Peterites were leading 3-0.
6-0 after defensive efforts. Zumri slaughtered over the only points for
as have Aiden Fernando and Kularatna. We just need to turn now around and kick it.
On that note, it's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs together with Hesha. This is Clifford wishing you good night.